Texas Democratic primary for U.S. Senate. Congressman Colin Allred and State Senator Roland Gutierrez leading a crowded field of candidates hoping to unseat Republican U.S. Senator Ted Cruz in the fall. Our Monica Madden is in Dallas covering the Allred campaign, and our Ryan Chandler is in San Antonio with the Gutierrez camp. Now let's take a look at where the race currently stands right now according to the numbers, and Colin Allred up in a big way right now with about 62% of the vote, ahead by about 240,000 votes statewide. This with about 50% of the vote counted so far.
Alrighty, and we do want to get back to our team coverage at this time. We have Ryan Chandler, who is joining us in San Antonio tonight with the Gutierrez team. Ryan, what's the very latest out there tonight?
Well, Britt, the question for the Roland Gutierrez camp tonight was whether he can take this race into a May runoff and keep Colin Allred below 50%. He has a lot of ground to make up there. He'll need to get another tens of thousands of votes in order to cross that threshold and stay alive in this race. But still, he is projecting confidence tonight. He says it is going to be a very long night as we wait for more county results to roll in. Take a listen to some of his remarks from San Antonio tonight.
We have yet to even get through the early vote in the state of Texas, so that's why we're in for a very long night, folks. And so we're going to give you another update in about a half an hour. We have got just about 6 or 7 counties in on their early vote. We've got a lot more. We're still missing some of the bigger counties on early vote. We have a lot of the small counties in South Texas that haven't even come in yet. And so this is how democracy works. And sometimes it's painful, and sometimes it takes a lot.
Some more disconcerting news for Senator Gutierrez here in his home county of Bexar County here in San Antonio. Colin Allred is hovering around 50% of the vote. I'm sure that Gutierrez was counting on some overperformance in the district that he represents now in the state Senate, but still Colin Allred showing very good numbers all across the state. We'll see if those margins can shift as we get more of South Texas into the vote count. But for now, Gutierrez remaining confident and saying he'll give us another update on how the results are rolling in within the hour.
All right, Ryan Chandler live in San Antonio for us. Thank you very much.
Okay, now we want to go to Monica Madden, who is north of us in Dallas with the front-runner campaign in this race for Democratic U.S. Senate. Colin Allred leading with 62% of the vote at this hour, and she is live for us tonight. Monica, what's the latest?
Hey, Britt. Well, we haven't heard from the man of the hour quite yet. We're hearing that he should be coming in soon, but of course we're still waiting for those final numbers to get in. We did just hear from State Senator Wendy Davis, who is of course campaigning for Congressman Colin Allred, and she was just revving up the crowd about why she believes Allred is the right person to take on Senator Ted Cruz come November, and so far it's looking like he's going to be that person. She noted that he is no stranger to tough races. The congressman in 2018 beat Congressman Pete Sessions, a Republican incumbent, in what was seen as one of the most competitive races in the state at that time. So she said, you know, his ability to do that, to go out on the trail and convince voters that he is the right guy, touting his record of being a bipartisan candidate, someone who's willing to work across the aisle with Republicans. And so Davis and supporters here think that's the kind of person that it's going to take to make the first Democrat to win a statewide seat in Texas in nearly 30 years, or 30 years, I should say. Britt, Daniel?
All right, Monica, thank you very much. And the U.S. Senate seat in Texas is not just important for Democrats in the state, but it's one Democrats across the country are watching closely as they look for a seat to flip this year. State of Texas host Josh Hinkle joining us now with some insight on this.
Hi, Daniel. Yeah, as we know, the eventual winner of this primary will go up against Republican Senator Ted Cruz, as challengers hope his narrow margin of victory in 2018 has made him more susceptible. But we have to get past this primary first, and it's possible the Democrats won't have anyone who gains 50% of the vote. As we've said, with 9 candidates pulling votes away from a front runner, it's likely the top 2 candidates will head to a runoff in May. We have State Senator Roland Gutierrez and 3-term Congressman Colin Allred, who've been polling far ahead of the others. But a super PAC supporting Cruz today went after Allred in a new video, accusing him of being Democrats' most radical recruit and being too radical for Texas on issues like immigration, healthcare, and schools. This ad indicates Cruz's allies believe he will face Allred in November's general election. Daniel?
But Josh, even if that's the case, let's say there is a runoff in May, Allred's going to be busy campaigning against Gutierrez, not necessarily against Ted Cruz.
That is exactly right. That means time and money is spent there, while Cruz is already able to start campaigning hard for November. A May runoff can also be tricky, as it traditionally has even lower voter turnout, and candidates with large grassroots support who can get people to the polls have done well in the past. In fact, a similar scenario is how Cruz won his first term in 2012 after a Republican runoff.
And then, of course, whoever makes it to November in Texas could be the Democrats' best shot to upset the Republicans, as Democrats have that very slim majority in the U.S. Senate right now.
You're right about that. And keep in mind, no Democrat has won statewide office in Texas in 30 years. That's the longest losing streak of its kind in the country. It came close in Cruz's last election when he narrowly beat Beto O'Rourke in 2018 by less than 3%.
All right, Josh Hinkle, thank you so much for joining us.